And I'm saying you can still be minimalistic. You can still be a minimalist. Just because your hair is locked up, that doesn't mean that you want to neglect it and that you want it to become completely brittle and dry. What is up, Flockers? That is my fellow lockers and aspiring lockers. In today's video, we're gonna be talking about porosity of your hair when it comes to locks. So stay tuned if you want to hear more about that. First off, I just did my retie today. Look how crisp that is. Look how crisp we got that. Looking good, looking good. All right. But that's not what y'all are here for. If you want to see retie videos, you can go check those out on my playlist. I am here today to talk about lock porosity. I have 4C hair, very kinky, very coily 4C hair. And I would consider my hair low porosity. And something I think that's worth mentioning is that once you lock your hair doesn't magically change porosity. I had low porosity hair as a loose natural, and I have low porosity hair as a locked natural. And my assumption would be that if you were high porosity as a loose natural, that you will be high porosity as a locked natural. Now, there are a lot of people here on YouTube and just in the world who, whether they're part of the sister lock community or Microloc community or just the lock community in general, there's a whole group of people that use absolutely nothing on their locks, possibly just water, rose water, and you know, that's it. They do nothing to their locks. They put nothing in their locks, whether it's instructed by their loctician or just their personal choice. Some of those people, their locks may flourish, other people may have struggle areas. My whole point is, as I always say on my channel, you have to do what's right for you and do what's right for your hair. So when you were a loose natural, were you able to get away with just spraying your hair with water? Now, I'm not talking about styling, because obviously if you're going for a wash and go as a loose natural, 9 times out of 10, shoot, 9.9 times out of 10, you're probably gonna need some type of styling product in order to actually get your hair to curl the way that you would desire it to curl. My point being is, usually with our loose natural hair, we don't just put water on it. We would deep condition, we would moisturize and all of that thing. And I'm not saying that you need to deep condition your locks or anything like that, but if you are struggling with certain things with your locks, it may be because you have a certain porosity of hair and you're not treating your locks in a similar fashion that you would treat your loose natural hair. Now, granted, I'm not saying that you need to douse your hair in oil or deep condition your hair, because I realize that different textures, you can have unraveling and things like that, and depending on where you are in your lock journey, it can make a big difference. What I am saying is that we have to be intellectually honest with us, with ourselves and with our hair. So I know with my scalp and my hair, I have a super dry scalp and super dry hair if I do nothing to it. That's the way it was as a loose natural. That's the way my hair was when I had traditional locks, and that's the way my hair is with Microloc. So with that being said, I'm not one of those people that can get away with just spritzing my hair with water and do nothing else. I need to add oil and moisture into my hair. I, with low porosity hair, choose to use a lighter oil. I don't put any super heavy oils on my hair, but I do use lighter oils like grapeseed oil mixture. I have a DIY oil video that I have on my channel that you can check out. Lighter oils, but I still do put oil on my hair probably once a week after my wash day, or if I wash twice in a week, then I'll use the oil twice. In the same sentiment, I am a very big proponent for those who can to use conditioner, only because I feel like there's this stigma against using conditioner in the lock community. Now, if you have no business and no desire to use conditioner, then don't use conditioner. But I don't want people to be afraid to use conditioner, because I believe that conditioner can help people who have very dry, stiff locks and that they're struggling with keeping moisture in. And now, we're not gonna sit here and pretend like we haven't seen somebody, and it might have been ourselves in the mirror, but let's not pretend like we haven't seen somebody with extra dry, crispy locks that look like you could pop that thing in half like a Cheeto. That's just the reality of our hair. Sometimes if we're not putting stuff into our hair, all the moisture comes out, and I guess you don't get any more moisture until you hop in the shower and wash your hair or spritz it or whatnot. So all of that to say that, again, if you had to do certain things with your hair when you were a loose natural, you may have to do certain things with your hair as a locked natural. Now, part of the whole being locked is hair freedom, being able to throw away almost all of your products in your cupboard and not having to worry about that. You don't have to have a comb or a brush. Yes, I get that. And I'm saying you can still be minimalistic. You can still be a minimalist in your products and what you use. I don't have a whole cabinet full of stuff that I use on my hair. I have a water bottle that I spray with water. I mean, my shampoo and conditioner, which stays in the shower. But I have my DIY hair oil. I have a Locs leave-in conditioner that I use, and that's it. That's all I use on my hair. My leave-in conditioner and some oil and water besides that. And then on wash days, obviously I wash with shampoo and conditioner. But it's simple. It's not like I have a billion products. I'm not putting heavy products on my hair, but I am putting something on my hair so that my hair remains or maintains a certain level of moisture, and so it maintains a level of shine and healthiness, because just like your loose natural hair, if it gets too dry, it can get brittle. And of course, when you have several hairs, you know, however many hundred are in a lock, bound together, you're not gonna have breakage in the sense that your lock is just gonna pop off unless you have thin spots in your locks. But just because your hair is locked up, that doesn't mean that you want to neglect it and that you want it to become completely brittle and dry. Because keep in mind, if you do ever decide that you want to comb your locks out, and I know some people are like, no, I'm never gonna comb my locks out. Wait until you're 5 or 10 years in the journey and then see. You never know. Never say never, because today you may say you're not gonna comb your locks out, and then 5 years from now, you're curious as to what your texture is like or how long your hair is. So you may end up wanting to comb your hair out one day. And if you do, if you have neglected your hair and just left it alone and done nothing over the years to moisturize it, there's a good chance that you're going to have damaged hair. Not all of it, but you're going to have damaged hair and it's going to be dry and brittle. I believe that you can do minimal things and put minimal effort into your hair without putting no effort into your hair. You can still use minimal product without having to overuse product. But who doesn't want healthy, luscious, moisturized locks? I have not moisturized my locks in a couple of days, and from what I'm seeing on the viewfinder, they don't look dry and crusty to me. They look pretty healthy and moisturized. So, like I said, this is 2-3 days. What's today? Today's Wednesday. No, today's Tuesday. So the last time I moisturized was on Sunday. So yeah, it's been 3 days since I've moisturized my hair and I feel like it's still looking good. So when you put a little effort into your hair and you drink your water and you know, you try to eat somewhat healthy and put good things into your body, your hair gives it back to you in return and tries to reciprocate, or at least that's what I believe. Put in good things and get the good things out. So when it comes to low porosity hair, just the same way, if I were to spray water, just spray it on the surface of my loose natural hair and I weren't to squeeze it in or, you know, pat it in or something like that, it would just sit on top of my loose natural hair and evaporate. The same thing happens with my locks. When I spray my hair, I go in and I have to squeeze it in. Otherwise, they're not gonna, and especially with locks, because I feel like you have to do more to get the moisture into your hair, because otherwise the moisture is just gonna sit on top of your locks and evaporate. Some will get in, but it's not gonna deeply penetrate into the innermost portion of your lock if you're not helping it out. If you have super low porosity hair like I do, pay attention to your hair. If you already knew what your hair was like before you got locks, then don't just throw all that out the window because you're like, oh, I've got locks now, so I don't have to worry about porosity, I don't have to worry about curl pattern, none of that anymore, none of that matters. It doesn't matter as much, and it's not something that you have to harp on or think of every day, but it does play a factor into your lock maintenance and into the way that your locks mature and cultivate and all of that and whatnot, and how healthy your locks appear and how healthy your locks actually are at the end of the day. And I'm speaking as a person with low porosity hair, but I'm assuming that it is probably the exact same for people with high porosity hair. So if they are able to take in moisture quickly with their loose natural hair and then it goes out quickly, then they probably have the same issue with their locked hair that you know, when they go in the shower to wet it, it probably gets saturated really quickly, but it also dries super quick. Let me know down in the description box, are you low porosity, are you high porosity? And with your locks, what type of experience have you had? If you have low porosity or high porosity locks, let me know, you know, do you agree with what I'm saying? Do you think, or do you disagree? It's totally fine to disagree too. Do you think that porosity makes a difference when it comes to locks, or do you feel like once you have locks, porosity and curl pattern, none of that really plays a factor into things anymore? Let's have a discussion. I'd love to hear from y'all, so sound off. While you're here, make sure to hit that like button so I know what type of content you are enjoying, and hit the subscribe button so you can join the flock. And while you are here, make sure to check out some of these other videos that have popped up on the screen. I will see you over there.